Well, I'm going to start putting some paint stripper around here. It's just going to make it easier for the sandblaster. Or anywhere I can, I'm going to paint strip first. Get this ready. That's going to need a bit of fixing up there, because you can see all that, so that'll get fixed. Needs a bit of grinding. But first of all, first thing I've got to do is remove this brake line. That'll be one of the first, that's probably the last thing gets taken off. It'll be the first thing gets put back on. This goes down through that tunnel, comes out back here, and I've got to take these off as well. They've got to be all refurbished. I'll be doing that before I do anything. You take this stuff off, it doesn't look real good. So I'll just give it a quick clean up. You clean the pipes, everything. Makes a big difference. I mean, that's going to look better than looking under the car and seeing that, rather than being all covered in paint and grime and crap. I've cleaned up the pipes. I'll mark them, cover them in inox. They're ready to go on. You can put it on the car looking like that, covered in paint and crap, or you can put it on looking like that. When you crawl under every nook and cranny of a car, you find more stuff. There's a hole there. You don't want to miss that. That'll cause all sorts of trouble. The water and wind and stuff will come into the cab there. Anyway, that's got to be fixed for starters. Also, the back seat mount's cracked, the floor, so that's the only bit. It's actually quite good. Underneath this car is immaculate. It's really nice. I just had to crawl underneath it to get that brake pipe out. It's bloody impressive how good it is. And bits of this sort of stuff need to be blasted. You know, there's little bits of surface rust here. Underneath there's nothing, not one spot of rust anywhere. That is the main reason we didn't sandblast it and pull it apart. It's just so clean. Going over this, and notice that needs a bit clean, but that thing there, it's going to drift. That'll be getting welded. The spot welds are come undone. This here, that's damaged. That's similar things happen, but I don't know, for some reason that's damaged. I'll also fix those. There's that hole down there you can see. So there's a few repairs I've got to do to this. I'll be doing them tomorrow. I don't know why that's been done, but over the years people do things to cars, and there's the result. I've straightened that up, it's good enough. I'll pull that in like that, then weld it. Someone's hacked that out to fit in a bigger radio. By the looks of that, it's on both sides. Now I'll fix that. Also, another thing I've just picked up. Oh shit! I nearly dropped the bloody camera. That thing there is not supposed to be painted, so that's got to come off. Undo them bolts. They're not supposed to be painted either. And I'll pull this cable out. Get that cable out of there. Well, there's that thing. It's definitely not supposed to be blue. We'll clean that up. It's in pretty good condition. I think that'll clean up fine. There's the bonnet cable, release cable. It's also in perfect condition. It's just been painted a bit. We'll fix that up, clean it. That'll look like new. Right, that's scraped off. Probably heat it up. Yeah, can't leave that like that. It's rusted out underneath the rock coat stuff. Scrape it all off and then sandblast it. That's got all surfaced up. But underneath the floor is incredible. It's that good. The only damage I can find on this floor is this bit here where the seat's been cracked, the floor. There's no point, I'm not sure what that bolt's for, have a look. I'll go over this whole floor with a screwdriver and a scraper, get it all off, and then it's much easier to sandblast. Once that stuff's off, it's just a waste of sand getting that off. I can do it with a screwdriver. Now, we in this car car to last another 60 years, this has to be done. Can't leave that like that. Anywhere where that's loose, it's got to come off. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in. Tomorrow I'll be doing this, fix that, re-weld this back together, fix that hole down in there, start doing this. Down in here needs to be cleaned up where that, you see that. So I'm going to have to grind that all up and I'll put a little bit of bog in there, just so it looks nice. That's about it. Then start just getting all this off with paint stripper. Now, this next job could take me 5 days. Who knows? But it's got to be done. I knew it had that damage on the floor where the seat mounts. See those 3 holes there? They're not supposed to be there. They've got to go. Also, this corner has got a bit of damage as well. So it's split a little bit. It'll also be getting fixed. Realistically, that's a weak point. There's nothing there to brace the seat. I don't think I'll be changing it, but I'll definitely be welding it up. Anyway, there's just a few things to do to this. It's not quite ready yet. Okay, back on this thing. Just unlock the brakes. It's so easy to move this car, it's ridiculous. Just wherever you want it, just spin it around. I'll just put it over, aim it this way. It'll do. Be out there. Just lock the wheels. It'll do. There's my first repair ready to weld. That was all a bit bent, so I've straightened that. Make that circle look good. But basically, how I've got this little piece here is how I want this whole floor. And then I'll give it a flick with the sandblaster. Unless I get it up really nice, and I'll just use that rust converter. Depends how much time I want to spend on it, but for those that don't know, the way you get this stuff off is you heat it up. You just use one of those little bottles, heat it up and scrape straight off. Now that bit's done. Right, there's that. I've welded up all the welding. Everything's welded up now. All this stuff in here is welded. That's all done. That's done. Those 3 holes have been filled. There was a hole here. Now the question is, how long is it going to take me to turn that, all this, into that? Right, there's all that crap off this side. Not easy. It's not an easy job. It took me best part of 2 hours to get all that crap off. Now I've got to do the other side. But see, I'll just flick the sandblaster over that. That'll blast that in no time at all. Otherwise, it just wastes the sand trying to blow that crap off with a sandblaster. It doesn't get it off. I'll show you how easily that'll sandblast it. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. We'll do the rest tomorrow. There's a storm coming over here now. In there, it's all part of the same accident, but that floor was pushed back. I've repaired it. All in here was pushed back, so I've bashed that back forward. It's all part of that stuff that was on the chassis rail and everything. It was a pretty big hit. The wheels come into there, into the floor. You know, I'd be right now. I'm just going to blast that up all in there. I may scrape more crap off that section yet. We'll see. It's just hard to get in there. I've got to bung back too. Anyway, we'll worry about that tomorrow. Basically, get one of these things. Heat it up like that. The difference. That does scrape off pretty easy as long as you heat it up. So you're going that way, it doesn't want to come off. Just wipe it off. off. Like the amount of sand it takes to get that crap off, it's much easier, I find, to do this first. Anyway, there's this section here done. That's a good hour to get that like that. I haven't gone over it with the, where is it? That thing over there on the stand with the wire brush. And you can see in here, like this has been done before under the seat, hasn't it? You know, on it over the years. Just scrape all the loose shit off first. Then I'll start heating it up. But if that's not treated properly, all that'll be gone in 10 years. No props. Really sharp on camera, but just saving this floor panel. Like, it's not going to need any welding, it should all just blast up really nice, but it's pretty bad. It's right on the limit of, like, it's been covered over a few times and sand, like, hit back with a wire brush and sound dead and I put over it. So this is the proper way to do it. Scrape it all off, sandblast it, and it'll be like a new panel. Underneath, fantastic. Went over that. Look at the surface rust under there. Gone up through there. All that. The side's not bad. There's a little crack here. I'll weld that up. See that light up in there? That's a crack. And there's another one just here. Through the light. Just there. It's the only bit. Saving this floor. Only just saving it. And like I said, underneath looks fine. It's fine. So I'll just weld those holes up. I'll give it a coat of that rust stuff, converter, vacuum it out, and then that's ready to sandblast. Just putting that rust stuff on there temporary because I've got it. I've got plenty of it. Pretty happy with how it's all come up. Like it's all welded, everything. My wife's been helping me out here to do this. Started stripping this stuff down. Got to get the whole firewall like that, and then it's just a flick over with the sandblaster. You're not wasting, like I said, you're not wasting sand removing paint. Plus, it keeps the heat down. It way less, generates way less heat without having to remove the paint. Anyway, that's about 4 hours so far today, just doing that floor. It's a big job. It's not easy. Paint stripper I use is Diggers. You just get it from Bunnings. Works fine. Now I've put it on all over the whole thing. It lifts off pretty quick. You just scrape it off, do it a couple of times, it's done. But while that's taking effect, like see how quick that does, I'm going to just put that on. I don't know what that blue stuff is. I think it's acrylic lacquer. And this originally car would have been painted in acrylic lacquer. So anyway. But what I'm going to do while I'm just letting that go a bit longer is with the fire stick, I've got to scrape some of that sound deadener off in there. I'm not going to go all the way down the tunnel, but just where you can see this front section, I'll scrape it off and get that paint off. Well, that's one go with the paint stripper. One go. It's a pretty good paint stripper, that stuff. I've already put a light bit over these little bits. Just get those last bits off. Very happy with that. It's rusty around here where the brakes leaked. There's only surface rust. I only had a little repair here, that's done. But that was a little bit bent. And there's also, on this nose, a little hole here. So that'll be getting fixed too. That's where the wheel went back in there. It did have a big hit. All that was pushed back. I repaired that in an earlier video. I didn't really film much of it, to tell you the truth, but I did fix it. How good does that look? It's better than seeing that ugly blue. You know, there's not much of that left. You know, I'm happy to see that at that stage. It's fairly complicated and just fidgety. Well, that looks pretty good. All the paint's off it. We've gone over it with wire wheels and everything. It's still getting sandblasted, but for now I'm putting this on it. Industrial strength rain buster. What is it? Rust buster. Renex. I've just painted that Renex stuff on here. It's ready to be sandblasted. That's just going to protect it until I do that, which might be Tuesday. A little bit more on the floor. Got to do in here next. That's tomorrow. That's the next day. That stuff does work pretty good. But I'll scrape that off and give it a blast, hopefully on Tuesday. It just protects it for now. There's that floor all done. I've painted that stuff on it. Ready to sandblast. I'm not doing it today, I just pulled my back out. I'm going to go up and try and walk up a hill now. But all the floors are ready to be sandblasted. In here, I've just given it another coat of that stuff. A little bit more in here, just to wait. It's ready to be blasted. I've got the 6 bags of that garnet there, so probably going to do that on Saturday. Now I need my son to give me a hand, pull the car outside. Done under the engine bay, I'll film that in a bit. Just getting this ready to do in here next. We've just got one of them things. It's nothing like a proper one, but it works. And that all done. Looks good to me. Just finishing off this floor. Pretty much done in there, but it needs a couple of little bits of spotting with the thing. That sandblaster is a bit of a toy. I'm going to go over that with this wire brush. I'll paint a little bit more of that stuff on that tonight. Like it just hasn't got enough power. Be there for a month. Anyway, it's getting there. We've just got to do more to it. That bit, but this in here is good. This turned out perfect. There's that painted. I don't know how good that's coming up with all the sunlight and everything. Probably bad. I'll push it in a sec, but it really looks nice. We're going to put some of that Pour 15 over the back. I'm just going to put a little bit more of that rust kill stuff through here, and we're going to paint that with that Pour 15. It's like a rust kill that turns into a primer. Our sandblast is just too small. We're pretty confident it'll be fine. We've spent ages on it. Anyway, that's it for today. Well, there's that. We ended up, we got it all done eventually, but it just took forever to sandblast that. The tip wore a hole in it of the stupid sandblaster, and it was wondering why it was just taking forever. But I ended up fixing that, and we got it all done. But yeah, we sort of lost the footage of most of that. This is the end product. This gets painted in here. All that's going to be white, or whatever colour we do it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be white. So that just gets gloss white. In the floor here, going to put body schutz over that, rock coat, whatever you just call it. Depends where you live. Same thing in the back here. This is going to get done that. Like you can see where it was all pitted and everything, where the sandblasting fixed that, but they're just going to put rock coat over that because that's got carpet and wood and stuff over it anyway. So this gets painted. This stuff, we'll probably paint that anyway, even though it's going to get rock coated. But the floor's not. That's just going to stay black in the car. That's it. Thanks for watching.